you go bankrupt. And there's a penalty for bankruptcy. Your credit sucks. You're very difficult to get a loan. Very, very difficult for people to trust you again. You have to earn that trust back. And even then, it's always going to be a stain on your record.
Absolutely. He needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
Yeah, he's stupid. He's an idiot. He loves the fame and he loves the money. So ultimately, if you're just that money hungry and that fame hungry, you're going to just do whatever. You don't care what it is.
Joe Rogan just tore into Jake Paul, saying the lawsuits and fixed fight accusations have permanently damaged his boxing resume. Critics argue Paul's flashy record now feels empty, built on hand-picked opponents and hype rather than true legitimacy. Even if the legal cases disappear, the perception will not. In combat sports, credibility is everything. Once fans question authenticity, victories lose value and records turn into footnotes instead of legacies. That stain lasts far longer than any...
Because there's a price that you pay that is not...
Right accusations exploded after the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua bout, with fans pointing to what they saw as strange patterns throughout the event. Many questioned how Jake managed to last longer against Joshua than Francis Ngannou did, despite the massive differences in experience and power. What was promoted as a blockbuster clash between a social media star and a former unified heavyweight champion instead triggered widespread speculation. From leaked training footage and unusual betting movement to outspoken commentators insisting the event felt more like show business than real sport.
As I look at it, for the fans, it put boxing still on the map because it keeps boxing relevant. Having exhibition fights like this, different celebrities and different things like that. I look at it as a fun thing for fans and stuff like that. I don't really take it seriously, because we in the business of boxing. That right there is just exhibition stuff. But I'm hearing they say it's a real fight. But yeah, it's a real fight because both guys are getting in that fight. I'm still the one that be thinking certain things are scripted as well too. So, but we'll see. I always say may the best man win, and main thing about it, may those guys go in there and have a hell of a...
Commentators described the matchup as absurd, highlighting the massive gap in experience, size, and pedigree between Paul and Joshua, with some calling it more spectacle than sport. A YouTuber turned boxer with a 12-1 record stepping in against a former two-time heavyweight champion who has battled elite opposition throughout his career raised immediate red flags. The fight was widely labeled lopsided, with Paul viewed by critics as a cash grab opponent rather than a legitimate challenge, further fueling claims that the event leaned more toward entertainment.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the Dubois knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
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 How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
Poured gasoline on the controversy by claiming Anthony Joshua could have knocked out Jake Paul whenever he wanted but deliberately chose not to. According to Jordan, the fight needed to be extended to meet Netflix's expectations, not boxing's. He argued that Joshua's power, timing, and experience were so far beyond Paul's level that an early finish would have killed the spectacle and streaming numbers. Instead, the bout allegedly required rounds, drama, and tension to justify the massive platform and global audience. While Jordan offered no concrete proof, his comments echoed what many fans already believe, that when massive money and streaming giants are involved, entertainment quietly overtakes competitive reality, leaving viewers questioning how genuine the fight truly was.
Paul posted on Twitter after the fight, jaw broken, heart and balls intact. That's a good thing. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. I mean, he's coming out of it as if, well, yeah, I got battered in the end, but boy.
That's what he will do. I mean, it depends what you think this was. I mean, I never felt it was anything other than entertainment. I'm not surprised that Anthony Joshua could have knocked Jake Paul out anytime he wanted to. He didn't want to.
So why didn't he?
Because, well, when you're on a platform like Netflix that turns one-part episodes into a 6-part series, why would you think that part of their entertainment model is to have a 30-second fight? Why? You watch a Netflix series, you can watch it and you can go, well, I get the gist of it. Why have you got to turn it into 10 episodes? Because I'm dying with boredom after episode.
Are you telling me that Netflix probably emphasised, listen, guys, take this as long as you can?
Anthony Joshua didn't step, irrespective. I sat to all these guys, whether it be Spencer or Paul Smith, talking about the fact that Jake Paul couldn't run, didn't have the footwork to be able to.
After the fight, Ryan Garcia weighed in on social media with a blunt and provocative reaction that quickly caught attention across the boxing world. Garcia tweeted that while he respected Paul's effort, he also made a sharp comparison involving Gervonta Davis. In his post, Garcia wrote, "I think Gervonta would have done him worse," suggesting Davis would have hurt Paul more severely or ended the fight faster than Joshua did. Many experts agree with Garcia, arguing this was never elite boxing. Even after the final bell, criticism continues, with some insisting the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul bout should never have been sanctioned at all.
Carried out of this fight on a stretcher, certainly I guess you can say is a positive. But what did I think about this? What did I think about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul? Look, it felt like Anthony Joshua carried him. It felt like Jake Paul brought in as much of a negative anti-style as possible, circling away, constantly holding Joshua, constantly falling to the ground. Again, while you're certainly going to give respect for the YouTube star turned fighter for having the guts to put on this type of show and to stand in there for as long as he did until a clean right hand in the corner when Paul was absolutely exhausted, dropped him and ended the fight. This is not elite boxing, and we knew that coming in, but if these fights are going to be sanctioned as official fights, like the Mike Tyson fight from last year.
Adding to the fire, Oscar De La Hoya commented on Jake Paul's earlier fight with Mike Tyson, suggesting that matchup was also fixed. De La Hoya claimed Paul paid Tyson to secure a victory on his record, and pointed out that many analysts noticed Tyson holding back instead of fighting with his usual intensity. He stressed that this wasn't an isolated situation, implying a recurring pattern of staged outcomes throughout Paul's career.
This fight was. I do believe it was scripted. What? And I believe that Tyson was certainly held back. What? Look, I'm a fighter and I can see it. It goes on the record and it was sanctioned. So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record?
Bruh.
For what? For your own personal satisfaction?
Bruh.
I keep telling you, if you want to be a real fighter, like you say you want to be,
shit, I don't even know.
While Tyson has denied claims that the fight was scripted, his performance left many fans disappointed and questioning whether the bout should even count toward his official record. For a fighter of Tyson's stature, the lack of aggression and urgency was impossible to ignore, leaving a lingering cloud of doubt over the legitimacy of the contest.
Recently broke some news about how he spoke to one of the Paul brothers and that they had an agreement that no one was supposed to get severely injured and that the fight had to last at least through the 6th round. As I was watching the fight, I'm like, damn, it looked like Mike came out a little hot, and I saw him do this one thing where he kept biting his gloves. I know there was a big age discrepancy here, right? Jake Paul being 27, Mike Tyson being 58, of course. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, is he biting onto his glove to hold back? Because it looked like he had something there. Even some of the jabs Mike threw, I'm like, he stopped his punch. I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist here, but thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know if Mike completely exerted himself or he just got really tired.
I don't know about it being rigged or not, but I do feel bad for people who really are invested in this.
You wanna know why I also think it might be a bit rigged? When the fight ended, Jake Paul kept calling out other fighters and he kept referencing, you guys need me, you guys need me. And I'm realizing he's meaning his money. So if boxers and people in the industry know that, hey, if we go get with Jake Paul,
during the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, critics also pointed to unusual rules that appeared to favor Jake. One alleged clause reportedly penalized Tyson financially if he knocked Paul out too early. That revelation raised serious concerns about whether the fight structure and outcome were shaped by contractual restrictions rather than true competitive intent.
Y'all already know I'm mad about this fight. I really wasn't even going to talk about it because I already felt like it was a setup. But when Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, it really just confirmed and solidified everything. So, Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, and I'm going to read it to social media. So, it says the rules for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight are designed to favor Jake Paul. These include: the rules are extremely favorable to Jake Paul. The contract will incentivize Mike Tyson to lose and give Jake Paul an opportunity to choose himself as a winner. The first stipulation in the contract will punish Tyson for knocking out Jake because he is paid on a sliding scale per round. If Tyson knocks Jake out in the first round, he would receive no money. If he knocks him out in the second round, he would only make a small amount of cash. For Tyson to make the most money, he needs to survive all 8 rounds, which means avoiding knocking Jake Paul out. If the fight goes to a split decision, it favors Jake Paul because the judges have to be approved by Jake Paul. I'm gonna let y'all read that. I knew it was a setup. Because you know what? Mike Tyson had a lot of open air opportunity to smash Jake Paul. And he didn't do it.